You have probably done this on every single flight you have ever taken without giving it a second thought. The flight attendant walks by during boarding and politely tells you to store your personal item under the seat in front of you, so the aisle stays clear. You comply immediately, because that is exactly what everyone around you does, and it seems like the most logical choice available. Your bag stays within easy reach throughout the entire flight, and you can grab whatever you need during the journey without disturbing anyone. But here is something that most passengers never stop to consider, and it might genuinely change how you approach air travel forever, once you fully understand what is really happening down there beneath your feet on that dirty airplane carpet. That carpet underneath airplane seats is one of the absolute filthiest surfaces you will encounter during your entire trip from your home to your final destination. We are talking about a surface that rarely gets deep cleaned between individual flights, that absorbs everything passengers track in on their shoes throughout each day, and that sits there collecting dangerous bacteria, viruses, and general grime flight after flight without ever receiving proper sanitization. Smart travelers who genuinely understand these disturbing hygiene realities and take their health seriously, especially those of us over 60 years old who have learned a thing or two about staying healthy while flying, know far better than to carelessly place their personal belongings directly in that bacterial breeding ground without first taking some basic precautions. Today, I am going to share with you 11 flight secrets that can genuinely transform your entire travel experience, from unnecessarily stressful to smooth and actually enjoyable. These are the kinds of valuable insights that frequent flyers who spend hundreds of days per year in airports and airline insiders rarely discuss publicly with the general traveling population. They willingly share these secrets with close friends and trusted family members, but they do not broadcast them to random strangers at the airport. Some of these secrets will save you real money on your next trip that you would have otherwise spent unnecessarily on hidden fees. Others will protect your physical health in important ways that you probably never anticipated before watching this video. A few might even get you valuable perks and complimentary upgrades that you never knew existed for regular passengers without elite frequent flyer status. I really want you to stick around until the very end, because secret number 11 reveals exactly how to board the aircraft before virtually everyone else on your flight, including the wealthy passengers sitting in first class who paid thousands for their tickets without spending a single extra dollar or holding any special membership whatsoever. This technique works consistently across virtually all major airlines, and the surprising thing is that hardly anyone takes advantage of it because they simply do not know this option exists. The gate agents absolutely know about this option, and all airlines have official policies supporting it, but they certainly do not advertise it prominently to the general public. Let us start with the bag situation, because it genuinely matters more than most travelers realize when it comes to protecting your health during air travel. I completely understand that it might sound dramatic to make such a big deal about where you place your backpack during a flight lasting just a few hours. After all, it is just a bag sitting on a floor for a short period, right? But once you truly understand what scientific researchers have discovered lurking underneath airplane seats through rigorous laboratory testing, you will almost certainly reconsider your current habits. Multiple studies conducted by respected microbiologists at major research universities have found genuinely alarming levels of dangerous pathogenic bacteria lurking throughout aircraft cabin environments. The specific findings about the floor area directly beneath passenger seats should seriously concern every health-conscious traveler. These are not theoretical concerns, but rather documented scientific findings published in peer-reviewed academic journals. Researchers discovered thriving colonies of E. coli bacteria that successfully survived on seat pocket fabric for up to an entire week between professional cleanings. Just pause and think about what that means in practical terms. A full 7 days of dangerous bacteria just sitting there waiting for the next passenger to touch it before eating a snack or rubbing their eyes. These same research teams also found MRSA present on various aircraft surfaces. MRSA is that dangerous antibiotic-resistant bacteria that causes serious skin infections and even pneumonia, the same bacteria that even modern hospitals struggle to control despite their strict cleaning protocols. The carpet beneath your feet silently collects absolutely everything that passengers track in throughout the day on their shoes. Think carefully about all the different places people typically walk through before boarding a flight. Airport bathroom floors where thousands of travelers pass through daily, parking lot surfaces covered in motor oil and gasoline residue, city sidewalks with all manner of contamination. Whatever substances coat the floors of terminal restaurants and shops that passengers walk through before boarding without ever thinking about what they are stepping on. Every bit of that accumulated nastiness transfers directly onto passengers' shoes with every step. Those contaminated shoes then rest on and shuffle across the carpet beneath airplane seats for hours during each flight as passengers tap their feet nervously and cross their legs trying to get comfortable. The contamination builds up flight after flight because airlines simply do not have the time or resources to properly deep clean that carpet between individual departures. Airline cleaning crews have extremely limited windows to prepare each aircraft for the next boarding group, sometimes as little as 15 minutes for a complete turnaround. The crews focus their limited time on visible surfaces that passengers will immediately notice. Tray tables get a quick wipe because passengers see them right away. Lavatories receive some attention because people use them during flights and will complain about obvious messes. But that carpet beneath the seats that nobody looks at closely? It gets vacuumed occasionally and receives a proper deep cleaning perhaps once every few weeks depending on the airline and aircraft schedule. When you shove your backpack under that seat without any protective barrier, you are pressing your belongings directly against surfaces that rarely get properly sanitized. Your bag sits there on that contaminated carpet for the entire flight, absorbing whatever bacteria and grime has accumulated from dozens of previous flights. Then you casually pick that bag up, throw it over your shoulder, carry it into your taxi, bring it into your hotel room, and perhaps set it right on your bed while unpacking. The contamination chain continues, and most travelers never give it a moment of consideration. Here is exactly what experienced travelers do instead to protect themselves. And the good news is that these solutions cost almost nothing. The simplest approach involves placing a plastic bag around your personal item before sliding it under the seat. A basic dry cleaning bag works perfectly for this purpose. Those thin plastic bags that cover your freshly cleaned clothes create an effective barrier between your belongings and that accumulated grime lurking on the carpet below. Just keep a few folded in your carry-on and use them every flight. Other seasoned travelers prefer keeping everything stored in the overhead bin throughout the entire flight and only pulling down specific items they need. Yes, this requires getting up occasionally, which can be inconvenient. But your bag stays dramatically cleaner by never touching that contaminated floor. If you absolutely insist on using the floor space without protection, at minimum wipe down your entire bag with disinfectant wipes immediately after landing before handling it extensively. Speaking of luggage cleanliness, those hard plastic suitcase wheels that everyone rolls through airports carry 58 times more bacteria than a typical public toilet seat, according to recent laboratory testing. Your bag that sat on the airplane floor deserves the same sanitizing attention. The second secret involves your tray table and why it deserves significantly more cleaning attention than airplane bathrooms. This finding genuinely surprises most people because it seems counterintuitive. Multiple independent laboratory studies have consistently confirmed that airplane tray tables harbor significantly more bacteria per square inch than toilet flush handles in the aircraft lavatory. The numbers are not even close. Tray tables consistently tested dramatically dirtier than the surfaces most passengers would assume are the most contaminated. Flight attendants who have worked in the industry for decades privately confirmed that these research findings match exactly what they observe happening on those tray tables during flights. They have seen things happen on those folding surfaces that would disturb most passengers. They regularly watch parents change dirty diapers directly on those tray tables because the cramped lavatory changing tables are too inconvenient. They observe passengers placing bare feet directly on those surfaces during long flights. Food gets spilled and casually wiped away with napkins rather than receiving proper sanitization. Passengers sneeze and cough violently, just inches away from the tray surface, depositing respiratory droplets all over where the next passenger will place their food. The quick wipe down that tray tables receive between flights barely scratches the surface of what has accumulated throughout the busy day. Cleaning crews have perhaps 10 to 20 minutes to prepare an entire aircraft containing over 100 seats. They prioritize visible messes and high traffic areas. A tray table that looks reasonably clean probably still hosts plenty of invisible bacteria from previous passengers. The solution requires only minimal effort, but provides meaningful protection. Pack disinfectant wipes in an accessible pocket of your carry-on, where you can reach them immediately after boarding. Before touching your tray table, give it a thorough cleaning. Wipe down the top surface, the bottom, the latch mechanism, and all the edges passengers touch repeatedly. Here is the crucial part most people miss. You need to let the surface stay visibly wet for at least 30 seconds after wiping. That contact time matters because the antibacterial properties need sufficient exposure to actually kill the germs effectively. A quick swipe that immediately dries accomplishes far less sanitization than a thorough wipe that leaves the surface properly damp. While you have the wipes out, also clean the armrests on both sides of your seat. Secret number 3 is the left lane trick at airport security checkpoints, and it can save you significant time on almost every trip. This tip costs nothing, requires no special status, and works reliably at virtually every major airport around the world. Human psychology plays a fascinating role in how people navigate crowded spaces like busy airport terminals. Scientists who study crowd behavior have documented remarkably predictable tendencies in how humans move through environments when given choices between multiple lanes. Studies have consistently shown that most travelers instinctively drift toward the right side when approaching security checkpoints. Right-handed people, who make up roughly 90% of the population, naturally gravitate in that rightward direction without consciously thinking about it. It happens subconsciously, based on dominant hand orientation and years of ingrained habit from driving and walking patterns. The predictable result across thousands of airports is remarkably consistent. Security lanes on the right side tend to accumulate more passengers and get significantly more congested, while lanes on the left often move noticeably faster with shorter lines. The next time you approach a security checkpoint, consciously resist that natural urge to follow the crowd drifting rightward. Stop for a brief moment and carefully scan all available screening lanes to assess which ones actually have the shortest lines. You will frequently find that the leftmost lane has noticeably fewer people waiting even when the overall checkpoint appears extremely crowded. Airport employees who work in these areas daily have confirmed that this left lane phenomenon holds true across most major terminals. This trick will not work every single time because sometimes the left lanes genuinely are busier due to random circumstances. But the odds definitely favor the left lane being faster, more often based on documented human behavior patterns. The fourth secret catches many travelers completely off guard when their checked luggage unexpectedly goes missing. You can actually track your checked bags in real time throughout your journey using relatively inexpensive tracking devices. Airlines lose, delay, damage, or misroute millions of checked bags every year. Their internal tracking systems update slowly and inconsistently, sometimes taking hours to reflect the actual status of your bag, and occasionally fail entirely during system overloads. Smart travelers have started slipping an Apple AirTag or Samsung SmartTag inside their checked luggage before handing it over. These small devices typically cost around $25 to $35, last for years on a single battery, and provide impressively accurate real-time location tracking through your smartphone. You can see exactly where your bag is at any moment with precision down to a specific room within a building on a map. Still at the departure airport while your plane takes off? Your phone shows that immediately. Sitting in some backroom storage area instead of riding the conveyor to baggage claim. Your phone shows precisely where to direct airport staff. One savvy traveler made national news when she helped confused airport workers locate her missing suitcase by pinpointing its location inside an obscure storage room they had overlooked. The small investment in tracking technology pays for itself the first time it saves you from a lost luggage nightmare. Secret 5 addresses a question I get asked constantly. Should you book early morning flights that require waking before dawn, or later afternoon departures that let you sleep in comfortably? Different people have strong opinions based on individual preferences and sleep habits. Some travelers hate waking at 4 in the morning and will happily pay extra for afternoon departures. But when you examine the actual operational data from the airline industry and understand how airline scheduling actually works behind the scenes, the answer tilts very heavily toward booking morning flights for anyone who wants the smoothest travel experience. The reasoning becomes crystal clear once you understand the cascade effect that dominates airline operations throughout each day. Flight delays cascade and compound relentlessly like falling dominoes, knocking each other over. One mechanical problem at 8 in the morning affects every subsequent flight scheduled to use that same airplane for the entire rest of the day. Bad weather in one region creates ripple effects across the entire national flight network. Crew scheduling issues and mandatory rest periods compound as hours pass. But those first flights departing in the early morning hours typically leave on time because the aircraft sat at the gate overnight, being thoroughly inspected, properly serviced, and carefully prepared by maintenance crews working the overnight shift. No previous delays exist yet to push back the departure time. The flight crew is fresh and well rested from a full night of sleep, rather than exhausted from working multiple segments earlier that day. Now we reach the point where I want to share something that has genuinely helped thousands of travelers navigate airports with real confidence. Managing medications through security, understanding confusing baggage rules, knowing which hidden fees you can avoid. These details matter enormously when you are trying to actually enjoy travel, rather than constantly stress about logistics. That is exactly why I put together the Airport Survival Guide. It covers everything from strategic packing strategies to handling unexpected situations during your journey. Thousands of travelers have already used it successfully. You will find the link in the description below this video and pinned at the top of the comments for easy access. Secret 6 involves seat selection and why the window seat might actually protect your health. Research published in respected medical journals found that window seat passengers have significantly less physical contact with other travelers compared to aisle seats. People walking to the bathroom constantly brush past aisle seats. Flight attendants push heavy carts down the aisle multiple times, reaching across aisle passengers. Every interaction creates potential germ exposure. Window passengers stay tucked securely in their own protected space throughout the flight, with minimal contact with passing strangers. They touch fewer common surfaces and encounter fewer people passing within close breathing distance. The physical barrier of having middle and aisle passengers between you and main cabin traffic provides genuine insulation from airborne germs. The trade-off is bathroom access becomes less convenient. But for health-conscious travelers, especially during flu season, that window seat provides measurable documented protection. Secret 7 surprises most people. The water used for coffee and tea on airplanes may not be as clean as you naturally assume. Studies testing water tanks on commercial aircraft found concerning bacteria levels in numerous samples. The tanks get cleaned, but not nearly as frequently as beverages get served. Many veteran flight attendants who know about this testing quietly skip the onboard coffee and tea entirely during their own personal travels. Bring your own water bottle through security empty and fill it at a fountain after clearing the checkpoint. These sources use properly treated municipal water meeting strict safety standards. During the flight request, only sealed beverages like bottled water or canned drinks rather than anything prepared using water from aircraft tanks. This simple precaution eliminates any concern about onboard water quality and costs nothing. The 8th secret helps seniors specifically. Free wheelchair assistance is available at every American airport, and you absolutely do not need to prove any disability to request and use it. The Air Carrier Access Act requires airlines to provide this valuable service at no charge to any passenger who requests it. Request wheelchair assistance when booking or at check-in, and an attendant will personally escort you from curb to gate. This helpful service includes assistance with luggage and often expedited passage through security via dedicated lanes. Wheelchair passengers board before absolutely everyone else, including expensive first class. After landing, someone meets you at the aircraft door. For seniors who walk fine but tire easily during long, exhausting terminal treks, this readily available option provides enormous practical benefit. Secret 9 involves a specific, powerful phrase you should memorize. When speaking with gate agents, try saying this exact sentence. "Hi, I'm traveling today, and I was wondering what accommodations might be available for passengers with mobility considerations." That carefully worded sentence triggers something noticeably different in how airline personnel process your request and respond to your needs. Airlines maintain internal categories for passengers qualifying for extra consideration. Seniors fall into protected priority categories. Various helpful programs exist, but systems only activate when you clearly identify yourself. Waiting silently rarely produces useful results. Speaking up politely using appropriate language almost always does produce better outcomes. The 10th secret addresses delays and cancellations. When your flight gets disrupted, most passengers rush toward customer service counters waiting in enormous, frustrating lines. Smart travelers know better. Pull out your phone and call the airline customer service number while simultaneously standing in that physical line as backup. You will usually reach a phone agent much faster. Airlines maintain sensitive traveler policies prioritizing seniors during disruptions. Mention your age directly when requesting rebooking assistance. You may get placed on the next available flight before passengers who arrived ahead of you. Finally, Secret 11 delivers on my promise. You can board before everyone, including first class, without spending extra money or holding elite status. The process involves pre-boarding available to any senior who simply asks politely. Gate agents have full authority to grant pre-boarding access. You need no wheelchair, visible disability, documentation, or proof whatsoever. Arrive at your gate early and approach the agent before boarding begins. Say something direct like "I am over 60 and would really appreciate pre-boarding if available today." Most agents grant this request immediately. Pre-boarding means walking onto an empty aircraft with first choice of overhead bin space and time to settle comfortably while everyone else waits. Flying does not have to mean accepting discomfort, confusion, and health risks as inevitable. Frequent travelers figured out these tricks years ago. They fly healthier, understanding where germs actually hide. They fly calmer, knowing how to navigate systems efficiently. They receive better service, understanding how to communicate needs effectively. The difference between pleasant and stressful travel comes down to information most passengers never access. Share these secrets with friends or family who have upcoming trips. Most seniors learn about these valuable options only after missing them for years. Spreading awareness helps everyone fly smarter and more comfortably. If this video gave you practical ideas worth implementing, please subscribe to catch future helpful content. Drop a comment sharing which secret surprised you most. Your feedback directly shapes the content I create going forward. Wishing you smooth flights and wonderful adventures wherever your next journey takes you.